Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
Well, Motorheads, you're looking at a radiator there. That one's from a Honda, and here's a cross section of one here. These are the tubes, and of course we know that fluids pass into the radiator, into the cooler, and it gets the cool air off of there, keeps all those fluids cool, keeps your engine running well at the optimal temperature. And you guys at FVP here, Cam, you guys do an amazing job constructing the coolers on the side of the radiators. Show me how they're built with FVP.
Absolutely. So we always try and put at least the same, if not more, amount of cooling into every radiator that we produce. That way it meets the OE capacity for cooling. And unfortunately, not all of our competitors feel the same.
Unfortunately for you guys.
Right. It makes it nice for us.
Yeah, unfortunate for the folks out there that might buy one of these. So how are they skimping on stuff out there?
So the biggest thing is we'll have guys where they cut down by 60% how much cooling they're actually putting in there, to where you can noticeably see the difference in how much cooling capacity is in that core.
What are some other things FVP is doing to make sure you guys are even above the OEM standards in a lot of cases?
Another thing that we do is these stainless steel reinforcement strips on a lot of the truck applications or anything that's going to be seeing a heavy duty use. We clamp that onto the tank, and it actually boosts the clamping capacity by about 40% or so.
Oh, very
cool. So you really get a good seal.
That's great. And you guys also go a long way at FVP to make sure that I've got everything I need to install this when it's coming to my door.
Absolutely. So we always include new hardware, that way you don't have to reuse the original stuff, anything that could be worn down, that could even be leaking. So we always try and put new parts in there. We'll even include some of the tools that are necessary if it's a common use item, like on these quick disconnect fittings. We'll include the slip clamp that releases the line out of it.
Well, heat is the enemy and FVP is the solution. You can find their products at rockauto.com, along with all the parts your car will ever need.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could understand the mechanical integrity of your engine? Well, you can. Welcome to this AMSOIL tech tip on taking a compression reading. How do you do it? Real simple. Just go down and get you an inexpensive compression gauge. Here's what you do. You warm up your engine. Once you warm up your engine, be careful, don't burn yourself. Blow out all the spark plug holes and then remove all the spark plugs. Then you can go ahead and block the throttle wide open so you get full airflow into the engine. Once you do that, go ahead and insert the gauge into one of the cylinders. Then disable the ignition. You want the car to crank but not start. Then what you want to do is you want to turn it over for 4 compression strokes. That's 4 cycle strokes, so na-na-na, 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 na-na-na. And once it does that, go ahead and watch your gauge. Now the first time you want it to get at least half the compression, and then check your manufacturer specification. For your compression readings, you need about 90 for the car to fire. Well, what happens if it's low? Well, here you go. 10 to 15 difference between the cylinders. As long as you have your manufacturer specification, you're fine. All cylinder low, well, you have burnt valves, you have a timing belt issue, or just a plain and simple tired engine. 1 or more, usually just a cylinder issue. 2 adjacent cylinders, well, that's probably a head gasket problem. Len, I'd rather not get to this compression portion because I think preventative maintenance, we're all about that. We can solve a lot of these problems prior to having a compression issue. Is that right?
That's correct. You want to run a simple test first, right, before you have to get more invasive with a compression test, and that can come in the form of fuel additives.
And fuel additives, let's address the cylinder itself. Do you have something down in there?
Well, true, you're going to bring it in the same way generally through the fuel, but what will happen is our performance improver or our upper cylinder lubricant is going to do the same job. It's going to help clean deposits away that could be performance robbing or could be causing a ring stick that would be a loss of compression. And what we've actually seen is carbon buildup in the actual crosshatches in the cylinder.
Wow, that's interesting. How can we prevent it altogether? I mean, maybe get it before it even gets into the cylinder.
Right, you're going to add it to the fuel. That's the easiest way to get the additives in there. Put it in the fuel and go from there. Fairly simple.
Well, there you go. You don't even have to take a compression reading, but now you know how to. Make sure you check them out on AMSOIL.com.
Marcus Riedema is our Motorhead of the Week, and back in 1966, Marcus's dad Pete bought this brand new 1966 Ford Country Squire station wagon, and he was very proud of it. It carried the Riedemas on lots of family vacations, and it was Dad's daily driver for 22 years until it developed a knock in 1988. He parked it in the garage, and there it sat for 3 decades. When Pete's health began to decline in 2019, Marcus and his family set out to restore the car in his honor. And once the major mechanical stuff was done, Pete was able to go for a ride in his old pride and joy. Sadly, he passed away just a few weeks later, but Marcus has restored the car to its original glory so his children can connect to their grandfather and to their dad's childhood. And the result is what may be the world's finest example of a 1966 country Squire. Do you love cars like Marcus and his father? Well, if you do, you could be our Motorhead of the Week. Just drop us a note at motorheadgarage.tv. We'll talk about you here on the show. We do this every single week here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. We hope you come along for the ride next time. Until then, we'll see you. Drive safely.